Check out this water underbilling lead at a hotel. We calculated the property to use 121 cubic metres of water per day, but the actual billed usage was 110 cubic metres of water per day. After desktop analysis, it appeared there might be an underbilling at the property, so we sent our technicians to site to find the problem. This hotel has a combination meter. A combination meter has a main meter to measure high flow and a bypass meter to measure low flow. At this hotel, only the main meter was set up for billing. The consumption on the bypass meter was not billed at all, which is why it was using less water than we calculated it to. One thing our clients say to us is, we should be finding these things ourselves, but issues often look simple or obvious once they have been identified. This lead is a good example. Simply looking at the meter on the billing system, there's nothing to make it look suspicious. The size on the system is a 40mm, not 80, which is the actual meter size. The letter in the serial number which indicates the meter type is A, which normally means just a single meter. In short, nothing looks out of the ordinary. This client has 7,669 40mm A-type meters like this one. Would you check through all 7,669 to find one rogue meter? What would make you even suspect this one to have a problem if you did look at it? Now we might hear, well, maybe we can't find it at the desktop, but surely our meter reader should spot this bypass meter and let us know about it. Sounds easier than it is. Let's look at this one in more detail.
So most meter readers have to read between 100 and 120 metres every day. They're targeted on that. So they don't have time, like our technicians do, to investigate something like this, where this pit was first filled up with mud 2 months ago. We came back a month ago, it filled up with mud again. And now look, it's filled with water. You can see that, splash around a bit. So if you're targeted to read 100 water metres a day, you ain't going to be bothering to empty this pit like I'm going to have to now. So I've been bailing this pit out for about 5 minutes already, and we're slowly getting down to where the meters are. Bit of a DIY job with a flask, but the average meter reader just doesn't have time to be doing this. So what do they do instead? Well, some of them will end up making up the read. Alright, so looking at my camera, 14.5 minutes later of bailing out the pit of my trusty flask here, we finally got a meter. So you can see, if you're the average meter reader and you've taken the time to actually bail the pit out, it was up about here before in terms of water, so it's like, you know, a pretty big task. But you find your 1 meter you've been told to read. You've got another 99 to read today. The meter's moving round. You've got the read. Why would you suspect there's anything else? Why would you decide to dig deeper? Well, I know there's something in there, so I'm going to have to. It's 19 minutes in. Pit's now pretty much clear of water. Now to start digging. 26 minutes in. You can sort of see the outline of the meter. Still no other visible meters in the pit. So 28 minutes, nearly there. T-shirts having to take one for the team. Mop up that last bit of muddy water. Okay, so more than 35 minutes later, the pit that was filled with water is now empty. Well, not quite empty, but you can see 2 meters, and only this main big one is on the system. This little one down here wasn't there.
So in actual fact, what sounds like quite a simple lead to find once it's been identified is actually very difficult. A meter reader has only 5 minutes, including travel time, to read each meter. Could you really expect him to spend nearly 40 minutes at this one site? He'd only read 12 meters per day if he spent this long at each site. Our targeted approach means we only go to sites where we think there is a problem. We don't do lots and lots of site visits, so we can afford to spend as much time as is required. So when our clients think we should be finding these things ourselves, we remind them that there's no such thing as an easy lead. Because if they were that easy to find, they wouldn't exist in the first place.